into the future. PBS Digital.
Every great idea deserves a chance to change the way we live, the way we work, and the way we play. From thousands of ideas pitched at casting calls across the country, 7 were handpicked to be developed by a team of product development experts. Each idea will be designed, engineered, branded, and sent to store shelves. And each product's inventor will play a pivotal role in the evolution of their product. Millions could be made, obstacles overcome, dreams will come true on this season of Everyday Edisons. American innovation has illuminated the path of progress for generations, a path that began right here in this very spot in Thomas Edison's Invention factory in Menlo Park, New Jersey. The practical light bulb was invented right here. The phonograph, even the telephone as we know it today, was invented, tested, and perfected right in this very spot by Thomas Edison and his staff of expert product development specialists. Now, these are all inventions that have made life easier and more enjoyable for millions over the years, while making millions for Edison and Company. But the historical timeline of American innovation since Edison's era has shown us that successful inventions often are the most simple inventions, thought up by ordinary people who've had extraordinary ideas. But in today's highly competitive, fast-paced marketplace, a great idea can't make it on its merit alone. It has to have an iconic design, be expertly engineered, protected by a patent, and boldly branded before it's ever sent to a store shelf. So our group of Everyday Edisons will come here to a modern-day Menlo Park, where a contemporary team of product development experts will turn each of their great ideas into a reality. So over the course of the season, you'll get to know our inventors, see what their inventions are, and what hardships they've had to endure to make it this far. Then the unscripted product development process will begin, where you'll learn each week what it takes to take a product from being a mere concept to potentially being the next big thing on the store shelf. But before our team of product development experts could begin that process, they had to find a group of products that had big potential. And in 5 casting calls held across the country, more than 5,000 ideas were pitched to our judges.
We're looking for a lot of things at the casting calls. First off, we're looking for a great idea. And what was the inspiration behind that idea? We're looking for the personal story behind the inventor and how this invention may change their life. We're looking for a well-thought-out concept. Does the product idea solve a problem? And is it the best way to solve a problem? And finally, we were looking for a product that had a large enough commercial market that if we commercialize this product, it would be financially meaningful for the inventor.
My invention's called the Water Boy. It's a portable, retractable beverage cart.
Thumbs up.
There's nothing on the market like it.
I think it's great.
My name is Corey Loeb, and this is my invention, the dog feeding machine.
And this show is all about finding great ideas and making those ideas into reality.
You know, you don't even have to unload the deer.
Sure. I think you've got something that could benefit a lot of people.
Have you filed for any type of patent protection on your invention?
This is multifunctional, that you could do a lot more with it.
I think you've got a very interesting idea here.
I'd vote that we explore it further.
Okay. Ian?
I agree.
Are you talking about what makes this unusual?
It's a great idea.
So from thousands, 7 were selected. Now let's meet our inventors. Our first inventors, Pam, Mary, and Deborah, are 3 working moms on a mission.
It's a mission possible, definitely.
Mom is on a mission. I mean, you can't be a working mom and not be on a mission.
A mission to make their mark in the skyrocketing scrapbooking industry.
We started out trying to figure out how we could mark our space at the big scraps, the overnight ones. People tend to take over your space when you leave.
Well, it was sort of a bolt of lightning.
A lightning bolt that started out as a space saver and turned into so much more. Pam, Mary, and Deborah's concept was simple. Create a magnetic layout folder so that busy scrappers could design a page and save it if they weren't finished when it was time for dinner or time to take the kids to soccer practice. The ladies designed their prototype to keep scrapbook pages on hold by laying flexible magnets on top of the unfinished design. Magnets that would bond to steel sheets embedded in their 12 by 12 blue binder.
Usually, you kind of feel around with things. It's not always a put it down once and you're finished with it. So let's say the end of this crop has happened, these events that people go to, and it's time to go home, or your child just woke up from their nap, or your husband actually wants to eat on the dining room table. What you do is you place your magnet down, you rub out the air bubbles so that you'll have a better bond with your magnet, you close it up, and you go store it in your bookcase or put it in your scrapbooking bag until the next time it's time to scrapbook. Then when you come back, you simply peel it back carefully and everything is right where you left it.
I was excited about the scrapbooking product for two reasons. First off, their passion. They were excited about the product and they believed in its purpose. Secondly, the market. Scrapping is a multi-billion-dollar industry. To be successful, all we have to do is get a small percent. This is a product with our help, with our work, will be an instant success.
Passionate about their favorite pastime.
But I like doing books for them, so that they'll be able to look back and see what they've done.
A time to be with my friends, as well as to put my memories on paper for my family 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. That's what it is to me.
You know, we've got a great life. We're really lucky, and to be able to write all that down and for their kids to have it and that type of thing, for me, that's pretty cool.
The three best friends found time to try and make their invention work.
More than anything with this particular thing, it's been kind of perseverance. It's taken a lot of time in terms of us just getting together physically and working through all these things we didn't know about.
And they hope once the Everyday Edison product development team gets a hold of it, their magnetic scrapbook case will attract customers for years to come.
Oh, I'll be excited to see it in the stores. I'll probably be jumping up and down in the aisle way. Oh, look, that's ours.
I think for me, it's going to be not just when it gets on that store shelf, but when somebody I don't know picks it up and puts down their money for it. It'll be like, yeah, you had a good idea and you saw it through.
It's definitely a mission. We want to see it in a store. We want to see people buy it and to see other people use it the way we have envisioned it from day one. That's what we want to see.
Family Guys and best buddies Russ and Brent want to become kings of the chicken wing world, and they think they have just the invention to make it happen.
Russ and I met several years ago, and we immediately started talking about our ideas. So we both had always kicked around certain ideas and inventions.
Well, I've been talking about this idea for, months, and everyone that we've talked to about the idea thought it was a great idea. I knew what was going to be involved in starting a business and getting a product manufactured and getting a product out to market. And it's an enormous task. So this thing sort of looked to me like the Wonka golden ticket. Our inspiration for this invention was just beer and chicken wings. And sitting there, and both of us sitting there together, seeing that the bone problem was so disgusting and saying there's got to be a better way to eat chicken wings. And from there, the idea came.
Russ and Brent's solution to the bone problem was a wing volcano concept. So they made a papier-mâché prototype and brought it to our casting call. And with a quick explanation of their product's features, Russ and Brent had our judges' attention.
The wings come out around the top of the tray, and you could have your dips and condiments in here as well with the celery. And as you eat the wings, you drop them into the bone zone, and they disappear below the tray so that nobody has to see them as they finish their meal.
It's a good thing you paid attention to those kindergarten art classes because your prototype really sells it for us.
I was completely thrown off guard. These guys walk in the studio with a papier-mâché prototype and I have no idea what the product is. But as they start to speak and as they explain what the product's all about, I got it. I immediately understood where the value in this invention is. It may not be the most elaborate product, it may not solve world peace, but it is going to be a product that's going to make the dining experience that much more enjoyable. I think with some work, this could be a great product. My hat's off to them. They came up with a very simple solution to a problem that we all face.
And while they hope their wing volcano erupts into the next big thing in the food industry, Russ and Brent know making it to market will take a team effort.
I hadn't ordered the yacht yet, but I had ordered the yacht catalog at that point. And then, in subsequent weeks, you kind of get down and say, wow, there's a lot involved in this. It's not just coming up with an idea. There's a long way between everybody that you talk to telling you it's a great idea and actually making money off of it.
Now, we were about this far away from it not going anywhere, which would have involved about monthly conversation about what we could do. And then this has enabled us to put it in someone else's hand who can handle all the execution while we do our day jobs and spend time with our family. So it's really worked out perfectly for us.
Our next inventor, Stan Joya, a retired New York City firefighter, is out to prove it's hip to be square.
We had 50 guys assigned to that firehouse, and out of those 50 guys, I would say 40 of them knew another trade, who was an electrician, who was a spackler, who was a bricklayer, and I learned a little bit from each of them.
Skills Stan put to practical use after suffering a serious heart attack that forced him to retire from the fire department after 26 years of service.
They didn't think I was going to make it at the time, but I'm still here and I'm working on my inventions and having a good old time.
Having a good old time inventing products that will save tons of time on the job site, including his favorite invention, the one that made him an Everyday Edison. A notched T-square used to measure, mark, and score drywall and other sheet goods.
It's got slots which will receive a utility knife for scoring sheetrock. It's just space flange goes against.
And it slides down, and it cuts precise, accurate cuts all the time, scores.
It's also got little V notches on the outer edge to take a carpenter's pencil for marking.
It's a great story behind the T-square. Retired New York City firefighter struggles on his own to bring his invention to market. He brings it to the casting call. I immediately understood what the product was when he demonstrated it. Here was a situation where you have an inventor who deals with a problem, creates a solution. It's the ultimate better mousetrap. It doesn't get any better than that.
And after years of trying to tempt big companies into testing out his T-square,
didn't even seem like receptive about even looking at it. They seemed like they were on their own.
They want to know part of it.
You're not going to give me something that you made in your garage, and we hire all these engineers to make stuff for us. Somebody working in their garage is not going to get through. So I know there's a blockade there somehow between the home inventor and the companies.
Stan still believes in his T-square and plans to make good on an overdue promise.
We wanted to get married, renew our vows, and we're going to do a Mediterranean cruise hopefully in a couple of years. So.
If it does wind up in the stores, we won't have any problem finding places to go.
So you've met our first three inventors, who all have very different products but share one thing in common.
The products that we chose for the show weren't necessarily revolutionary products. In some situations, they were enhancements to existing products, or in many cases, products that will just improve everyday life.
Now let's meet our final four inventors. Wendy Hampton is a single working mom, dedicated to her daughter, and determined to battle boredom by creating her own board game.
She just came to me one day and said, "Mom, I'm bored." And so she's like, she went on the internet and she found things that families could do together. And one of the suggestions was a board game. And so she's like, "Mom, can we do a board game?" I'm like, "Sure." And so we got down on the floor and we just started playing. And I could not remember, even though I was spending quality time with my child, I could not remember the last time I had actually had that much fun. And it was just something that I started working on. And eventually it grew into a passion.
A passion that became years of after-hours homework for Mom that made her an idiom expert.
An idiom is basically just a slang terminology that we substitute for the English language as we know it. It's a lot of fun when you really get into them and you really see how many of them on a day-to-day basis that we actually do use. And it's really become the norm.
Sometimes she'd come home and she'd be like so tired and stressed out and stuff like that. And yet a couple hours later I'd see her on the computer working on the idioms and she'd have like this huge chart and everything. I'm like, oh my God, Mom, why don't you just take a rest?
Whenever I did my research, there's actually somewhere in the neighborhood of about 65,000 of them. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
So over the next 2 years, Wendy and her daughter developed Shop Talk and pitched the game concept to our judges.
Challenge of the game, as well as the irony of the game, is within a certain amount of time you have to get your friends or your teammates to actually guess the idiom, but you have to do so using just plain old English.
The game market is crowded. Thousands of new products are introduced every year, but only a small percentage are actually successful. Wendy came to the casting call with an interesting idea, but that's all it was. It's going to be our responsibility to transform that idea into a product that's going to be successful and that consumers are going to want to purchase.
And not wanting to be a bump on the log, Wendy wants to see Shop Talk become the talk of the board game town.
Well, ultimately, for me, it would just be the fact that you actually are able to invent something and it doesn't just sit somewhere as an idea collecting dust.
Our next inventor didn't set out to make it big in the baby bag industry. She was just following her mother's intuition.
And I get up in the middle of the night. I went to my son's room and I started thinking.
Thinking of a way to make life a little easier on busy moms and a little safer for little ones.
It took me 1 week to fix the bag. Because every time you start to do something, you figure out something else, something else, something else. I fixed it and I took it to Vula. Vula is my daughter. And I said, Vula, fix something for you to take Christa to Boston. And she said, Mama, you crazy. I said, Vula, that's the way I feel. If you want it, okay. If you don't, that's okay too. So she said, she loves it.
And the 3-in-1 baby bag was born after some late night sewing in her shop. Maria's invention is a diaper bag that converts into a bassinet and baby carrier, giving parents portable options to traditionally cumbersome products.
Maria took a basic product, the diaper bag, and she added functionality. She looked at the functions of many different products and included them all into one. This was a product that solved a problem for her daughter, and it was accepted by her daughter. Hopefully, with our assistance, this could be a product that is embraced by millions of moms. I really believe that this could be the next big product in the baby industry.
Born in a small Greek village and blessed with a large and loving family, Maria hopes families around the world will become familiar with her versatile baby bag.
I mean, that's the way I see the world, that's the way I see my kids. They go always, you know, they have to go somewhere, always. They don't stay home. So this bag is, to me, it's amazing. If it's, any parent can have it, you need to have it for the little ones.
For Franklin Ramsey, one man's trash is his treasure.
I don't think I could sit down and say, okay, I'm going to invent something today. I think you have to have a problem that needs solving. You know, I equate it to like an oyster. An oyster gets a piece of sand in his shell and he does something about it. He puts pearls around it.
And when Frank's wife gave him a chore to do, he did something about it.
She gave me the job of emptying the trash cans. And so I started emptying, and you know, the routine was that you take the bag and you shake it out and you stick it down in there and then try to tie a knot to hold it in place. Well, that didn't work, so I tried tying the knot first. And I said, you know, maybe I'm not cut out for this kind of work.
Frank was cut out for the job, and with a quick cut of his kitchen trash can, lightning struck. Frank's concept for keeping trash bags from falling into the can and avoiding having to tie those little knots was simple. Have a pie shape cut into either side of the trash can, so when you put the bag in, all you have to do is press a little of the bag into the cutouts.
When I saw Frank's invention, my first reaction was, it has to already exist. It's just too simple. If you've ever experienced your trash bag falling into the container, you can appreciate the simplicity and the elegance of his solution. We did a thorough patent search, and it turns out Frank was actually the first to invent this idea. This is a product that I believe in, and this is a product that I know that our team can take to the next level.
And while the idea may have come easy,
that was it. I mean, there was no long research process here, and I can almost equate myself to the inventor of the hula hoop. He didn't spend a lot of time either.
Frank knows turning an idea into a successful product takes teamwork and patience.
I've had ideas all my life, but you know, I've raised in a family and everything. I didn't have the time or the money to go out and follow up with any of these things. The little old guy who sits in his shop and comes up with an idea and starts making them and selling them off the back of his truck doesn't exist anymore. It's just no way to reach a mass market that way.
Our final inventor, Bill Murtaugh, is on a quest to fulfill his father's dying wish.
He was really proud of what he had invented. His design had gone through many different stages and evolutions before he got to the one he was really happy with. A lot of times he did get discouraged.
Discouraged after years of development and failed attempts at getting into stores, John Murtaugh, a decorated veteran and retired Master Sergeant from the 82nd Airborne, lost his long battle with cancer.
My dad, but he's also my best friend. And, you know, I've got a great family and everything, but I really lost something. Missing what?
Determined by destiny, Bill picked up his dad's invention and ran with it. What Bill brought to the casting call was his dad's handmade prototype. A mortar mixing hoe with a pentagonal head designed to fit into the rounded corners of wheelbarrows, and 2 directional flow ports to help make the mixing action more efficient.
And there is a specific reason for all of the features on this. If you'll notice, there's no pointed edges, there's no sharp edges, and that is a feature of the design to keep from gouging your containers. Also, this rounded edge here allows you to access the curved edges in your wheelbarrow.
Bill, I want to commend you on really carrying on the legacy of this product. I think your father would be very proud of you today for what you've accomplished, and certainly he should be commended for the work that he's done getting the product to this point. We would be just ecstatic to help you carry this product on.
I was personally touched by the Murtaugh story, but that only goes so far. At the end of the day, we still need to find a product that solves a problem. There was a lot of emotion behind the selection of this product, and I'm convinced that over time, we'll be able to prove the effectiveness of this product, and we'll also be able to demonstrate how it saves time on the job site.
Now, Bill Murtaugh hopes his dad's dream will finally come true.
The most satisfaction that I would have had would have been to take him into a store and for him to see his invention on the shelf. That's all I wanted.
So now you've met our inventors and seen what their inventions are. On the next episode of Everyday Edisons, the adventure begins. Under the direction of Louis Foreman, chief executive and founder of product development firm Inventus, the first phase of each product's development will begin.
Our goal here is to take these ideas, these inspirations, and transform them into truly remarkable products.
On this season of Everyday Edisons, each invention will go through the industrial design process, where designers will dream up and create dozens of concepts for each invention.
I want to take it to the point to where it does become maybe a form icon.
A team of branding experts will brainstorm names, create logos, and develop a brand identity for each product.
A brand is bigger than the product itself. It's the difference between a product doing what you expect it to do and a brand that delivers on a promise.
The Everyday Edisons engineering team will then bring our inventors' ideas to life by building each product step by step.
Looks are important, but it's got to work.
Along the way with potential million-dollar products in development.
I'm old enough to know that the odds of striking it, this lucky are pretty slim.
Obstacles will be overcome.
We want it pretty, we want it lightweight, we want the magnets to work.
Dreams will come true.
Wow, this is really happening. It's not that dream. It's not the dream anymore.
On this season of...
I'm in shock.
Don't think I'm dreaming.
That took my breath.
Everyday Edisons.